Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, Boss Rush's Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Douglas, and I am here with Eddie V. How's
I'm
it going, Ed?
I'm excited to be here once again. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, this this show we've got a lot to talk about, and I've spent I don't know almost like 9 hours like
You,
preparing for the notes for this episode because there was I've watched the I've watched so if you haven't guessed, we're gonna talk about the ID at Xbox
Mhm.
Twitch event, and yeah, it was like 3 hours long or 3.5 hours long, and I've watched it 3 times. So I watched it once all the way through, and then watched it a second time because I kind of wanted to write some notes down about some games that I was interested in, and then I watched it a third time because I'm like, well, I just want to go over stuff again, and then like realize there was a whole like I don't know like 20 game, or well, not 20, but there was like at least 10 games that they showed at the end of the show in day one Game Pass stuff, and that I didn't add to my list here. And so yeah, I was like trying to make sure I had everything because I want to make sure that we let people know about all the
Jesse,
games.
Jesse,
So
welcome to the podcast world of hosting.
hmm
there are
yeah,
there's snacks, chicken wings with your favorite hot sauce in the bag, whatever you want to drink. Okay,
I
yes,
got some I got some of the
you
Moa
know
burger.
I need to go to Walmart and get those, and I might do it tomorrow so
Yeah,
I could taste them. Um,
they're actually really good. They taste so good. I really like them.
you like them? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you check Power Block, but I did the Sun Kiss, not Sun Kiss, the Sun Chips chili lime, dude,
Hmm.
fantastic. And that I'm
Yeah.
not trying to do anyone watching the video. It's not the
Snapchat.
little, yeah, it's not the racist thing, but man, when you talk about good popping spice in your mouth,
Yeah.
them some chips do it. Like I have tried a lot of things with chili lime in it.
Yeah.
Sunkiss, some chips got it right. Not only is it healthy, they really got like you really get some good chili
Well,
flavor.
healthy.
Yeah, that is
It's
true.
not exactly healthy, but
uh, but I mean, yeah, it has a really good chili pop, and then the aftertaste, that lime kicks in, and it's
yeah.
so mellow and so balanced. You would definitely like it. I just happen to everybody go watch Nintendo Pop Block for my review on
I have a seasoning. I have a seasoning that I use for things that's very similar. It's
mm,
it's a like Hispanic or Mexican like seasoning stuff that's got lime. It's got lime and stuff in it, and then
uh-huh.
it's but it's got like a little bit of like a like a seasoning chili or like taco ish. Yeah, not really taco, but like it's a lime and like chili ish kind of seasoning that
Yeah.
you can buy in the store. I think it's made by the Mrs. Dash or whatever.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, like if you ever go to the store, just look for it. It's actually pretty. It's really good,
You
and you can use it to put on, like whatever.
and speaking of healthy, yeah, Mrs. Dash makes some really good seasoning. Like and for people who can't like really have salty kind of stuff, I think there's some things that's missing. But the flavor in Mrs. Dash seasoning is really really good. My mom, she does the lemon. And she pours it in with the broccoli, and man, you the broccoli and like grilled chicken, and you cannot taste the difference of any other.
Hmm.
I'm like, it's really really good. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love like like I could spend so much money going when I go shopping just on the seasonings
Hmm.
because I just absolutely love buying seasonings to to put on stuff or like to because like whenever I make something, I almost never go by like a recipe or whatever. I'm always putting my own stuff in it, and
Hmm.
because I for the most part, a lot of the things, most things I have a basic understanding of what needs to be in it.
Yes.
But I usually will do things my own way, and put like put amounts of things in that I feel like could either use
Enhance it.
more of or
Yeah.
use less of, and or substitute with something else that I think would be better. Like I've just always loved cooking, so
Hmm.
I used to do it, a lot when I was younger, even too. Like technically I wasn't legally allowed to be, but when I worked my first job doing dishes, and I would boil potatoes in the morning to uh peel by hand and stuff, and
Yeah.
then I would make American fries, cut them into American fries, and so like after hours of like burning my hands from the hot potatoes cutting them up,
Oh.
then I would go back to doing my dishes. But yeah, I was only like 14, and my boss, the owner of the restaurant, made a deal with me. They said that I can have anything I want on the menu for lunch for free. I don't have to pay for it, but I have to make it. And so like I would just have to try to figure out how to make whatever that I
Hmm.
wanted. And I mean, it was great because I learned pretty quickly, how to cook things and do things on a restaurant level.
Yeah.
um and then there was one that, because so like where I worked was connected to a hotel,
Yes.
an old hotel.
Hmm.
um and then there was a bar connected to it as well. And what was really cool is the owner, when he bought this hotel, right, he didn't make it a regular hotel, like people could stay there
Yeah.
for really 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 cheap. But what he did is he turned it into basically a place where people could live,
Yeah.
for really really cheap
Cheap.
price.
Hmm.
And he did that because he was trying to do his part to try to help keep people off the streets and give them a place that they could stay, for very little money. And he did that for quite some time, but unfortunately eventually the city kind of forced them out, and they tore that all down and like turned it into some like big bank headquarters or something like
Uh,
that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But there was a lady that was a normal, like she was a resident there, and she would come down every day for dinner or lunch or whatever, and get her hamburger and this and that. And they kind of told me she's very picky on how she wants her stuff made and this and that. And
yeah.
they said, you know what, we'll teach you how she likes it made. And then what, like she'll be your customer, that you will always have to, like prepare her food for her and serve. And I got to like bring it out to her sometimes personally, and it was a lot of fun. It was just a really cool experience. Like I loved everyone I worked with, and it was a lot of fun, and just like a really good learning experience. And it
Yeah.
was cool, getting to just kind of meet people in the community there and stuff. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so I
Working in the food industry, it has its ups and its downs, but
yeah.
like you do learn a lot of stuff from it.
hmm yeah, I basically worked in the food business, food industry, until I finished high school. And then once I finished high school, literally the second I I graduated, I had gotten a job then doing cleaning, and that's when I first started cleaning. And I worked at the YMCA then, so third shift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I definitely have some great memories. I met my best friend, one of my best friends, Ben. I met
Mhm.
through working in the food industry. Like he started working there, and yeah, and that's when we first met because he went to a different high school and stuff in town because he lived on a different side of town. So yeah, I mean, some great fun memories. One day I thought it would be fun to take a whole bunch of pieces of broken crayons and I put it in those little plastic containers that you'd get the butter in, where
Mhm.
you peel back the cover on the top of the little kind of individual chunk of butter to
Yeah.
butter your toast. And I put a whole bunch of crayons pieces in one of those as like a mold, and then I put it up inside somewhere where it wouldn't get like wet and stuff like that, up inside the dishwasher. And because it gets so hot eventually over time of running it
Yeah.
melted all those crayons into like a little technicolored little uh butter shaped thing, and then I put it in the freezer so it would harden. And
Oh
oh my
wow.
god, we used to just do just completely dumb and fun things and just have so much fun, even though we were still doing our jobs and everything. But and like I used to drink coffee. We would drink coffee, but then we in the back, because we had a buffet on the weekends,
Mhm.
a breakfast buffet, and in the back where we would go to make all the cinnamon rolls that we would put on the buffet.
Yeah.
I would just take a big lump of the cinnamon roll frosting and just plop it right in my coffee. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well,
Fun times. Yeah, we should.
let's get
Yeah,
some Xbox talking.
yeah. So, all right. Well, if you wanna listen to our shows and all that stuff, you can go to bossrushgames.com. Everything is there, and I don't know. I was gonna talk to Corey about this, but I was clicked on the entertainment section, and for whatever reason, that's not working right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
that part is working for Logan, so Corey's gonna be working on that,
oh,
and that together. So yeah.
but if you go on to our website, there is a search feature on our website. And like if you want to, let's say, like what go check out Boss Rush Entertainment shows like LAN Party and stuff like that, you can just type that in right now. If for some reason it's still not working when you go on it, you can just type in the shows that you're looking for, and then it will pull it up that way. It will bring you right to that part of the site. It's just the link is just broken right now. That's all.
Yeah.
So that's just got to be fixed. But yeah, so yeah, you can find all of our shows there. But we will get to what's in our arsenal. So Ed, what's in your arsenal this week?
So I first let me apologize to everybody that I broke my promise that I didn't play my Xbox last week. Even though I said I did, I ended up picking up a game called Roots Film, which is a visual novel adventure game.
Okay.
I finished it and I'm doing a review for it. This is from P Cube Games, and it to let everybody know that the writing is in English, but it's subtitled. All the language that they're speaking is in Japanese, and so it has some gameplay elements, but it doesn't have that much. So I am doing a review for it. I gotta write it out, and by next week, you guys probably will be able to read it. It's a game that came on Switch, with it, and for me personally, this is my first visual novel adventure game. I've never played anything like this, but it was a mystery game, and I love mystery. So I'm going to be writing that. Uh, Started up Monster Hunter Rise. If you guys want to hear more about that, by the time you guys see this, if you watch the live episode of Nintendo Power Block, you'll hear our thoughts. If not, you'll catch it Wednesday about it. But it's been getting a lot of great reviews. A lot of people have been putting mad hours into it. It's sold out in Japan, dude. Like it literally, like, the physical version is gone. I do have the collector's edition, so I do have the amiibo. I do have the game and like some special cards and stuff. And I do have the Pro controller, and I haven't taken out the box yet. But you guys, if you check out Boss Rush podcast in the future, you'll guys be able to see it. The controller, dude, looks so good. But everybody's hoping those Pro controllers. Only seen one person buy the Switch version of the Monster Hunter Switch system console with those Pro controllers. Only seen one person buy them. But hopefully maybe I'll stop in the Best Buy later on this week and just take a browse to see what they have. But it's just those two that I've been playing. I've been playing a little bit Streets of Rage 4 just here and there for no apparent reason. But I am going to get back into my Xbox. I am going to start. You know what, dude? I'm just going to plow through two games. I'm just going to have to plow through. I'm going to have to plow through Doom Eternal, and I have to plow through Cyberpunk 2077. Like, I got to get those games out and then return back to Ori and the Will of the Wisp, because like I said, I'm at the ending and I want to finish that game. And definitely when we get talking to ID at Xbox, I was telling you, Jesse, that Thursday I have to order Biomutant. Like, they said that the pre-orders are available, and I think the game is coming out, I think, March 30th or a little bit, or May
30. I think it was March 31st, wasn't it? I think it's March 31st.
Oh, you know what? Then I don't need the pre-order, because then it will already be out by the time.
I think.
Yeah, I'll probably just.
I could be wrong. Maybe it is in May. Maybe it might be. Yeah, maybe it is in May. I could be wrong. I just know there's a couple of things coming out at the end of the month here. I think I'm thinking of shows or something on streaming things.
Yeah, because
a lot of release days coming up here for things that's all jumbled in my brain. So you might be right, though. I think it's early May.
Yeah, because the thing about it, just like, we finally got a date.
April. I think it's next, like this next month.
Next month. Maybe. Yeah. There's something though that's different about it. I don't know if I know they added stuff, but I'm like, something just like, I think something feels different about it for some reason. But I'm still getting the game, and I'm still going to be excited to play it and everything. So, but that's pretty much that's what's been in my arsenal. Like I said, I am going to get into some more Xbox games and everything. Because like I have it right here on my TV. I have all these games ready to go, and I just need to cut it on. Well, hook it back up, cut it on, and just play it, and just like get through games and stuff. Because I know past week, like, the Series X and S have been coming more available, but they still been selling out. And I don't know what's going on with the IRS, but they haven't released my money to me yet. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm just like, y'all need to release my Lucini. I mean, I'm gonna save up this month for April if I, to get it. But I'm just like, where's my check at? Where's my dollar?
Yeah.
Where's my money, sugar?
Yeah, and it is May. It's May 25th that Biomutant comes out. So
okay,
it's actually late May. There's a lot of things coming out like pretty soon here. I feel like in the next couple of months there's going to be a lot of stuff dropping. But man, that just makes me sad thinking that I've got to wait like almost 2 months yet for that to come out.
Well,
I'm so excited for that game.
I think this is the thing that um that Xbox, like we talked about last week, that Xbox need. I mean, even though we're talking about
Hmm.
Game Pass, we're going to talk about that in when we get to news. But we were just talking about this is what the Xbox need. They need to show this presence of games that's coming to their system, and with these indie games coming, they can have a good summer with indies, like Nintendo will be having. Regardless of what people think what's going to be happening this summer, if Xbox could release some great games that the Switch and PlayStation 5 is not good at getting for indie stuff, that would be so good for them. And you wouldn't have to worry about a big release because you got all of these other great games that's coming, especially if they're coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
so I think as long as the dates hit it and everything, and they could do the multi-release, like it could come on Switch or it could come on Xbox first and then Switch on Thursdays. I'm fine with that. As long as Xbox get like really take notice of ID at Xbox and really showcase these indie games that's going to be on the system. Because, man, there's a lot of great things that Microsoft is doing, and they need this to keep it going.
Yeah, and like I said again too, like if you want to keep up on, like games and stuff, like indie games that are coming out and all that stuff,
Hmm.
definitely follow either the ID at Xbox YouTube page or the Xbox YouTube page, because they're constantly posting trailers up on there for new games like all the time. I think it's just they kind of had a big dump of them that they
Hmm.
could do a big event around, and so they wanted to make sure that they got a lot of new stuff out there, and that's what this show that we're going to talk about was. But they're constantly putting new trailers up for new indie games like all the time on their YouTube. So like, yeah, anyone listening here, definitely go check those channels out if you want to, look into new stuff that's coming out. Yeah, they may not be like AAA games or whatever, but I mean, it's still like, and I've talked about this before, and like indie games, in my opinion, are some of the better games that I'm going to get the most out of, because one, they're not super long,
Yeah.
and so everything is nice and compact, and you're getting the story, you're getting everything that you want out of a game. It's just not going to consume like, weeks and weeks to finish it. It's like for me in my state, the having family and stuff that I want to, spend a lot of time and do other things outside of, gaming. It makes it really easy when a good indie game comes along that only takes like, 10 hours or whatever to finish,
Hmm.
because then I can just do it, and I don't have to try to remember what I like that was the worst always, is like when I would play a bigger game and then trying to remember what exactly happened the last time I played it.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to just remember when it's a small compact story that you're doing. You don't have to really try to think about everything that you've already done. But yeah, so yeah, so that's basically it for what you've been playing at.
Yeah. Next week I'll have more. I will have Xbox
Okay.
stuff to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been playing a whole lot, just grinding on Fortnite
Mm.
for the season pass stuff. Got most of that stuff finished, and I need to do some there's some other things I got to do now, but yeah, that I went back and played a little just some Halo 5,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, I'm just getting excited. I can't wait,
Y-
till we get more stuff about Halo
I,
and
I
things like that.
funny thing is, I really need to start Resident Evil 6 so Xbox
Oh,
One. I
yeah,
have it. I got it for cheap, and it's just like
yeah.
I had this game on my system for almost half a year. Why have I not played it?
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
one of those games that I bought too. I have it. I got it for like $5 or something. It was on sale for.
Cause I think I got I know I got 4, but I got that physical. I got 5 on it. I got 6 for I think I got digital sales on them because I in a way I almost like PlayStation. And I might have to double dip for Switch for some unknown reason. Um I got two remake and 3 remake. I just don't have 0 and 1 because
Oh,
I think I got 0 and 1 on PlayStation, but I might go back
okay.
and do it because Capcom always keep having the good sales, and I'm thinking I'm like
Well,
I'm
you can go and get that physical for like probably like $10 or
probably so, yeah.
or $15 at this point because
Yeah.
it's been long enough now that that's been out, and I feel like that's one that you can probably find used too at like one of the used places for really cheap.
Cheap, yeah, because a lot of people been going through the whole Resident Evil series and everything, and it's just, and I guess I'm like, maybe I need to do that. Just play it, and the thing about it is like kind of play it on easy, because
Hmm.
I kind of already beat them. I think besides Resident Evil 1, I never played 0. I just need to make my way through remake 2 and start remake 3. Um, I have 3 installed. I just never started because of I think I was doing Devil May Cry 5. And I think I was doing the review for that, or and some other stuff came up for it. But I know I did buy it because I think me and you bought it at the same time around that when it first came out for Resident
Yeah,
Evil 3 remake.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and then 6, I heard so many things about it. And it's just like I'm not gonna buy this, and it's been cheap, so yeah, yeah, I might jump into it for it, because like I am playing Resident Evil 5 on PlayStation from time to time, but I got it on easy, and I'm only
Yeah.
doing one player, so it's just like
Mhm.
I hope I can get past this part, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah, I didn't really play much of those, but yeah, for like for me, so yeah, I just Halo, I played a little Halo 5, and I there was something else I played, but I can't think of it right now. I did play something else as well too on PC that Dave, I gotta talk with David about that because I don't know if I really should like because we got something for a review type thing and it's really good. I'm liking it, but I gotta talk to him and see what I can talk about on the show. I think it's already out, so it's not like if there's any like thing I'd be breaking, but
no, I don't think so just yet.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I'll talk about that maybe next week. But 'cause I mean, I played it, but I haven't put a whole lot of time into it yet. I'd rather wait and talk about it a little bit more anyway, or play a little bit more before I talk about it anyways. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, other than watching the show that we're gonna talk about here a bunch of times, that I really like that. Any of my free time this weekend has been sucked up by that for the most part. So.
Yeah.
And I did watch some I was watching the documentary thing about um
Tina Turner.
yeah, Tina Turner last night too, which I didn't even end up finishing. I thought it was like an actual episodic thing,
Yeah.
but it's a whole documentary that's like 2 hours. I think it was like almost 2 hours long
Sure.
or something
Okay.
like that. So like I at one point I'm just like, okay, I'm really like this, but I am so tired, and I just shut it off, and I'll just finish it at
I,
some point. But
I did finish that Mormon documentary.
oh, did you?
Ooh. Wow. 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 The
Yeah.
twist and the
Hmm.
turn.
Hmm.
But I like how it broke everything down in the
Hmm.
last one on why this was happening.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty
it's a
interesting,
good
but
one. Yeah.
yeah, because for me, a lot of times though, like I'll be honest, on weekends, I like at night when it gets to a certain point, I just don't want to play games. I want to just watch something and relax.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, like for me, it's just as relaxing as games can be. It's just nothing for me is more relaxing than just watching a good show or something and just sitting back and not having to like just not having to think, just listen to what's going on. And that's why I like documentaries, is they're very relaxing to me.
Yeah.
Just letting people talk about stuff, and it's like, it's like podcasts. It's the same
Yes.
reason why I listen to podcasts. It's relaxing, and I can just kind of shut my mind off and just focus on what people are talking about, and forget about the world for a little while. But
Exactly.
so yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of games that I do want to go back to, and like I still need to go back to playing Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's
Yeah.
just I just like I just I'm playing it like it's on a console basically, because I have my computer hooked up to my TV and the pictures coming through there.
Hmm.
But for whatever reason, sometimes it's just not what I want to do. I want to be playing something off of my Xbox, but I do love that game. But so yeah,
Yes.
so that's pretty much it for me right now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. So yeah, our news, we're gonna talk about the ID at Xbox Twitch event, or the indie showcase. So kind of we talked about it last week. That it had been announced that Twitch and ID at Xbox were gonna team up. They were gonna make a whole big ordeal out of it on an event
Hmm.
that's streams on Twitch, and they had a whole bunch of Twitch streamers and stuff that are, I think, a little bit more on the popular side. Um, got to do interviews with different devs of some of the games as they went through the announcements.
Yes.
Um, okay, so what I'm gonna do first here is I'm just going to kind of list off all the games, and then afterwards we could probably pick a couple that we, if there's any in particular, Ed, that you want to talk about, um and then I'll talk about a few of them, and then that will kind of do the segment that way.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Because I have like
because
about 5 games.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, well, honestly, if you want to add, actually, what we could do is, as I'm reading them off,
Hmm.
if I come to a game that you wanted to talk about,
Yes.
go ahead and just let me know, and then once we see where we're at with time, I'll kind of talk about some of them uh afterwards. So
Okay.
we'll just do it that way. So, all right. So the first game that they showed, I thought it was gonna be Far Cry 2 remastered or
Hmm.
something, because it looked like Far Cry, but it was called Exo Machina,
No,
or
Exo Mecha.
Mecha. Yeah, that's right, Exo Mecha. And yeah, and it was like almost like a mix between, yeah, like Far Cry, not Far Cry, or
Just Cause.
Crisis. It was like a mix between like Crisis, and yeah, and like Just Cause and all those kinds of games. But yeah, it looked interesting anyways. But and then the second game was the
The Ascent.
Ascent.
Okay. Um. Is I think this is the cyberpunk kind of top down shooter one. I think.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
This is a must-have for me. I was loving the way that the game looked. I love
Yeah.
the fact that it has this arcade style of a shooter and
Yeah.
everything, and it looked like it may be multiplayer. I don't know, multiplayer in the fact of it would be 4 players or more.
Yeah.
But it may be like only 2. I'm really digging this world, and a lot of people were well, some people were taking digs at Cyberpunk 2077, saying that that game didn't hit their spot or
Mhm.
anything, but this looked like this is going to be the game that hits it. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of, well, a mixture of Smash TV with Smash TV and Loaded on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah,
And
it was definitely that twin stick shooter kind of style of
yes,
game.
and
Yeah.
it looks beautiful for an indie game.
Yeah.
The coloring and the art and the lighting just makes this game like this is not indie. This is literally triple A kind
Well,
of level. So yeah, I'm here for this game. It's
that
a must.
well, honestly, that was an ongoing thing throughout this whole entire show. Like some
Mm,
of these games were some of the most vivid, just colorful, just amazing looking games that I had
yes,
seen in a long time. Like just some amazing art styles all throughout this whole entire show.
yes,
Like honestly, I know it was a long show, but it was so worth watching this because you got to see some really good looking indie games.
yeah,
So like this next one too, I really liked as well, the Omno.
yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Rhyme a little bit,
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
that kind of game.
I like that this 3D platforming kind of game. It's just like I
Yeah.
kind of miss games like this, so it
Hmm.
caught my interest. They're like, yeah, I'll dig for this because it looks like it it may have some collectathon elements, which I'm
Yeah.
kind of here for. But I'm just like, if this just feels like a platform where you're exploring, trying to learn the world, I'm here for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very much like Rhyme, where
Hmm.
you're doing stuff, but you're doing stuff. You're collecting things maybe to further a story point, or it's I don't know. It was really cool. Like I just like the versatility. So like your main like weapon or thing is like this magic staff that you can use to like solve puzzles. And at one point he's riding on it like it's a surfboard through the desert, and just like all these like really cool things. Like the staff can like he can use it like an umbrella type thing to kind of parachute down and float to different areas. And yeah, it just looked so cool. Like that was one of them that I was like definitely like I'm all in for this one. And I'll tell you some more of these at the end of the in our next segment. But this one, the Omno, is a day one on Game Pass. One of a bunch of them here that will be on there. The next one was the Wild at Heart. um I don't remember a whole lot about this one. Um, like that's the thing, is there's so many games in this thing that
Mm.
like I could have easily sat down and wrote something for every single one of them, but I just didn't have the time. So then after the Wild at Heart was a really really cool one that I'm really interested in, called Void Train.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this was a really interesting looking one.
It didn't do nothing for me. It screams Steam green light, like those kind of games.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you
Yeah.
liking it. I think I just need to see more of it. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it was just something that's just like, man, it needs a little bit more polish.
Yeah, well,
That's
I mean, I think, again, these are indie games, so
yes.
I don't know. I think the art style that they went with and stuff, I think that's all probably gonna be pretty much what the game will look like in the
Mm,
end. But yeah, it was an interesting concept of like you're like on this train that you can build out and kind of customize, and it's just kind of floating. You're going through these voids or these portals basically, that you're going through all these weird different worlds and dimensions where like you're just kind of floating through space in some of them, and you're and at the same time it's like a first person kind of shooter almost, that seems like,
mm.
where you're kind of like you're hunting alien like things. And yeah, it was an interesting looking one. But the next one then was Aerial Knights Never Yield. This was another kind of one of those that seemed interesting enough, but I don't think was super for me. Um, you know. The next one was the Forest Cathedral. This one was really interesting. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it,
Hmm.
but it definitely intrigued me because I mean, I don't know. He like walks up to this like terminal that's on a tree and starts playing like I don't know, like almost like NES style or even earlier than that. It almost reminded me of like an Atari game or something. And then so like it must be like one of those like walking sim kind of like puzzle solving games is what it looked like to me. I'm interested in that one to see more. Then there was the Princess Farmer, which farming games, has never really been my thing. So I just kind of was like, like when all those farming games that were super popular on phone and
Yeah.
stuff came out, I never once tried them. It just did not interest me. But
But I like
but
the
if you're
fact
into that kind of stuff, it looked cool. So
I like the fact that this sprite based game is like, calling out to retro players and
yeah,
people who love this farming game and sim game and
yeah,
like Stardew Valley and stuff. So I like the diversity that they started to introduce into the show. So yeah,
yeah,
it's not for me. Um, Maybe someone on the team, on our Bosphorus team, may pick it up and they could let us know if they like it or not.
yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe we'll look into it and stuff. But yeah,
yeah,
it didn't do much for me. But
yeah,
I like the diversity that they brought to it.
yeah. Definitely, there was a lot of that. The next one was Space Lines from the Far Out. This definitely looked like a fun game. I don't know for sure if I'm gonna buy this one like day one or anything, but
Hmm.
it's kind of like that. I think the game's called Moving Out or whatever, where it's like one of those games where you can work it with friends and stuff to try to do things.
Yeah,
But it was like one of those kind of things where you're working together to kind of do stuff, but it's like in outer space, a spaceship kind of base one. So it's similar to like those moving out and all those things where you can have fun, playing with friends and doing tasks and stuff in game together and stuff like that. So
yeah.
the next one was Little Witch in the Woods.
I have
Um,
some interest in that game.
Yeah, I mean that one's definitely gonna appeal to, people who like old school like Zelda style games and stuff. It was
And
very
Pikmin.
much yeah, very much reminiscent of like those old school Zelda style games where it was kind of like a top down RPG kind of style game. So
Yeah.
Night Squad 2 was the next one that they showed. And then one of my personal favorite, Iron Corbo Kung Fu Janitor.
Yeah,
Like this game, the art style was just, I don't know, it was kind of like at times it reminded me of like almost Parappa the Rapper
hmm
in some ways, but then at some points it kind of reminds me of like um like just more of like a like comic book style almost
But
is kind of what it was.
I know to me it has this like comedy feel, but it feels like, and this don't take this wrong, anybody. It feels like a bargain bin game that you would find like at KB Toy Store or
Yeah,
something like that. And even though it's a bargain bin game, it surprises
yeah,
you that it's so good and fun.
yeah,
So that's the vibe that I'm getting for. But
yeah,
this is, to me, this is kind of like a must have for me.
yeah.
Day one, depending on when it's released, I have to find out. But like, I would
Yeah,
definitely get this game.
yeah, and it was like a beat 'em up kind of style game
Yes.
almost. So yeah, and it almost it reminded me of Okami in some ways too.
Mm,
Like there's a very like artistic like painting style kind of thing going on in it. Yeah, it's just to me I think it was what they were going for was like a comic book, like a Japanese manga or comic book style kind of look or something. But yeah, it was interesting. And then next was Echo Generation. This was another kind of interesting looking one that we didn't again get a whole lot of a
mm.
look at. The next one was how does it Despelote? I
Yeah,
don't
that's below.
really Despelote. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I don't remember a whole lot of. And then the next one was Elba, a wildlife adventure. Now this one looked pretty good, I thought. It was kind of like, kind of like a fun adventure kind of style game.
Mm.
It looked interesting. And then after that was Mad Streets, which this was like an interesting looking one as well,
Like
like
a
an interesting beat
like
'em
a
up.
beat 'em up melee game. It,
Yeah,
the hit detection looks terrible.
yeah.
Cause it
I don't. Yeah, I don't quite know. I think. Yeah, there was something weird about it, but again,
yeah.
like that's the thing is it's something I would if they were to put it on Game Pass, I'd definitely give it a try and see what it's about. But
If the game comes up at $5, I'll give it a try. Other than that,
yeah, and then the next one was Rift Breaker. This is a really interesting, weird looking game, but like some of these they went for some really interesting looks.
Mhm.
Which isn't exactly a bad thing. It just yeah, it caught your eye. It was weird and interesting, but then after that is this was a really weird, really weird one. An airport for aliens run by dogs. That's the full title of the game.
Yeah,
And it was just really weird. It looked like it was something that was made in like Microsoft Paint or something.
yeah, and
It was weird.
I'm not buying this at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
think
understand what
this
this
is
is,
totally one of those games
money
that some
grab.
kid buys or it reminds me of something my kids play in Roblox, honestly. That's what it looks like. It looks like a game that was made in Roblox, but I don't know. It's weird. I mean,
It doesn't
it,
look good or
it
feeling that. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it doesn't look good, but like it had some humor and stuff to it
Hmm.
that I appreciated, but yeah, it's definitely not something I'm probably gonna pick up, but and then after that was Super Space Club. Um, this is another one that kind of, I'm not saying didn't look good or anything, but it just kind of glazed over a little bit. But
Hmm.
um, then the next one was Lake. Now that was a
Okay.
good one, good looking one.
Yes. And I think this one we knew, we heard the announcement, I think a week before this
Yeah,
one. I think they showed it I believe they showed it at last year's Game Awards. I know for the Talk the Walk crew, this is on
yeah,
our list to get.
yeah.
And I see that you got a star by it, so it is going to be on Game Pass day one. I gotta say that.
Oh no, actually, I don't think it is. I wonder if the thing didn't get updated because I have changed this
Oh,
quite a
okay, you
bit.
did. Yeah, yeah. I see you took
Okay.
it off. Okay.
Yeah.
this game. It's a must buy for the talk the walkthrough. But even when I seen it before, I was just like, oh, we need this. I need this game.
Yeah.
Like, not only is this beautiful and this music, but it's just like there's a story behind this that has piqued my interest, and I'm intrigued, and I want to know what it is. So I'm definitely day one, definitely buying this game.
Yeah. It definitely had some really really interesting look to it and stuff. So, and then after that was the big con. It was I can't remember. I think it was kind of like almost like a story driven game, as well, but it was a little bit different. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but and then the next one was Atreo the Dark Wild. That one I don't really remember a whole lot about either. Then the next one was Cloud Gardens. This was a really weird, interesting looking one. It's like a tower building. It was almost like a tower building game, but you're building like a garden, but it's like it looks like it's basically a garden that's like a whole entire like skyscraper almost. I don't know. It's really really weird and interesting. But
this is like an unfinished CGI CGI show that's gonna be on Netflix Kids, and it looks terrible. I'm sorry, no.
That's the thing is a lot of these you don't really get to see a whole lot of. So hopefully there'll be more about some of this stuff eventually. Yeah, because it was really hard to kind of understand what exactly was going on with it, but
yeah.
The next one was Alchemic Cutie, and this kind of reminded me of like the old school and Super Nintendo games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors or whatever kind of thing. Like where it's like you're kind of going around and attacking things and kind of like finding stuff. It's another kind of Zelda-ish kind of game, almost top-down style. Griftlands. I don't remember a whole lot about that one either. Adios. This was like another walking sim type game. It looked interesting. This one I believe this one had a let me check here. Oh, maybe it didn't. I thought it had a maybe it did and I just forgot to write it down. I think they talked a little bit about this one with the devs, but I don't remember. It's like I looked into it more and I found something about it, and it's like you're basically you're like a guy that used to work for the mafia or something like that, or the mob or something like that, and you wanted to retire. And like you're a pig farmer, and it used like people like the mafia or whatever want to come in. They bring their dead bodies there for your pigs to get rid of the evidence or something like that. And so it's like a whole like story driven like walking sim type thing, and you're kind of unraveling some kind of story and stuff, I guess. So
okay.
The next one was Cloudsy or whatever. This was another kind of like platformer-ish kind of somewhat, I think, game, if I remember correctly. And the next one was Onzi Master, I think, or Onzi Master. This was one that was it was like a it kind of reminded me of Spirited Away. It was like a spa manager sim
Yeah,
where there was like different, like it reminded me of the spa scene and Spirited Away when
literally.
you're cleaning the spirits and whatever, because
Yeah.
it is a lot of it was a very Japanese style, like setting and everything in the game, and so it was very similar to that. They had the big round bath, spa things and stuff, and you're kind of running around trying to clean up and put the different soaps in the different spas and clean different things, and running, fix up, the plants, and it's like one of those kind of games where you're kind of running around doing tasks and stuff like that. It looked interesting. I don't know if it's something that I would be interested in, but it looked really cool. I liked the look of it. The next one was Dungeons and Dragons, I believe Dark Alliance. So this is a new Dungeons and Dragons game. It looked really cool. Like they had some really cool looking enemies, and like there's
Hmm.
like one point a dragon comes flying in, and it looked really cool. Um, it definitely looked like that's gonna probably be a big hit among those crowd, the crowd of people who really like the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So I'll be honest, it even intrigued me a little bit. I wouldn't mind learning more about it. And the next one, now, like for me personally, this was my favorite game that I had seen the whole, like one of my favorite games that I seen the whole night.
Hmm.
Um, it was called Moonglow Bay, and this was another one where they did an interview with the devs and the creators of it, and this game just sounded really fun, and it's kind of really gave me those like Animal Crossing vibes, where like you're basically you're like the story takes place in this little town, this little ocean side town that you're living in, that's kind of going in the dumps because they're kind of, they just don't have money, and there's these people have disappeared who went out to go fishing and never came back, and so there's these, all these myths around town about these monsters and these creatures that live out in the water, and so everyone's afraid to go out into the water or leave, that way. And so you're kind of like, you're the character you're playing as, you lost someone who was important to you, and I think it was like your father or your grandfather or something like that, who you would go fishing with and stuff, and so you you want to go and continue doing, like opening up this fishing shop or this store or whatever in the town, and everyone's warning you about all these, creatures and stuff that are out in the water, and so you kind of go on an adventure to go find out, what's behind these myths and stuff of these creatures out in the water, and it's so like the main mechanic of this game is fishing. Like the creators talk about how they wanted to basically just make a whole fun game based around what's normally just a little mini game in most games like Zelda, and like you name it, like so many games have had fishing, in them, and they wanted to build a whole game around a character who is a fisher, and so that's like your main kind of thing you do in the game. And I think they said there's over 100 different fish you can catch,
Hmm.
and sorry, and so like, but you go out and you kind of learn, you can like, make friends, and do different things to upgrade things in the town to make the town better, because like that's what you're kind of on your mission to do, is like you're going to go get fish so you can bring that back so people have fish and stuff again to eat, and and you're kind of just making friends with different people in this town and learning more and more about all these mysteries and stuff that are around it. And yeah, it just looked like it was a really, really fun, just kind of relaxing game. Like kind of the same reason why a lot of people played, Animal Crossing. I
Mhm.
think people who like those kind of games are really gonna enjoy this as well. Like this will be like a, very similar style of game to Animal Crossing, for people to play when they just want to kind of relax and just kind of do something that's a little bit easier and not think about it as much. All right. And then the next one was Art of Rally. So this is a really interesting kind of like cell shading, almost kind of rally car racing kind of
Mhm.
game. And it was interesting. Like I kind of liked the look of it. And this will be one that will be in Game Pass day one. So I definitely am gonna try it just because it did look interesting. It's not something I normally would super be into, but it's on Game Pass, so I'll give it a shot. The next one is in my opinion, the worst game of the night. Craftopia. This game looks like they took every single Nintendo IP and tried to throw it all into one game and then just throw like everything, like every kind of style of game into it. At one point it's like Breath of the Wild, but then like you're driving a tank.
Mhm.
Like imagine being in Breath of the Wild and then all of a sudden just jumping in the middle of nowhere in the woods, just jumping into a tank and just start shooting things, or jumping into a sand buggy and then driving it off cliffs and stuff, and then like I don't know, man. This game was just all over the place. I was talking back and forth with Ed on Friday night about this, and I'm just like, what? I don't know what is going on in this
I
game.
yeah,
But
I was just like, I give up.
yeah, but I mean, they full on just right off the bat. It sounds like Breath of the Wild music playing, and you're these characters that look like similar to Link in Breath of the Wild, and then they're flying with these gliders that look exactly like the glider from Breath of the Wild.
Uh-huh.
And then and then it just starts getting crazier and crazier and starts looking like Breath of the Wild got like infected by some kind of virus or something that just started dragging all different kinds of other games into it. I don't know. It is really weird. But yeah, like at one point there's like these conveyor belts that are just dropping live cows that are like moving around just into a pot of stew or something. And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah,
Like,
once again, like I said, I gave up. I'm like,
and
I
they had
can't with this.
like people and animals running inside like these like those wheel things, like what you put in like a mouse or a hamster cage for them to run in, and
Yeah,
they're just running in it and it's running things like it's powering something. I don't know. There's so much going on in that thing, but it's on Game Pass day one. So if you want to take an adventure,
and it needs to
maybe
stay on Game Pass forever.
maybe do maybe like stay away from the hallucinogens with this one,
Uh,
or because
just stay away from this game.
you're gonna feel like you're on them already just watching this trailer.
Yeah, just stay away from this game.
And then after that, they finally people on console are gonna be able to play Rust. I think this game is like 10, 15 years old at this point. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember when it came out.
It
It's
it does nothing for
interesting.
me.
This is a massive online community. Like
Mm.
probably like it's a lot of people love this game. I'm definitely gonna try it eventually.
I
I
will.
could just easily try it on my PC, but I don't really want
I
to.
will not. It does not interest me at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, it's not a net game. It's a first person game, and it's just like weirdness. You're like, it's so like I don't know. Like you start, if I remember correctly, you start out with like a rock, and then you've got to kind of try to improve things and find better weapons to fight with and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Whatever it is, it can stay where it's at. Not for me.
This next one was like probably my second favorite game of the night.
Yes.
This one I've been looking forward to though for a while here. Narita Boy, and this game was just I think one of the most stunning looking games visually.
Yeah.
That like
Well.
well this one and then there's another one too that will be coming up that I really was interested in. But this
Yeah.
game, just the art style and just everything they do in this Narita Boy just looks so interesting and cool, and it's another cyberpunk-ish kind of looking almost game in some ways as well. Like not like the game cyberpunk, like but like it's got that aesthetic of like going for the cyberpunk style kind of looks, but it's very much like a castle, like a Metroidvania type platforming kind of style game, side scrolling. It looked really cool. Like this game is though I've been looking into this game for a while now.
Yeah, it looks really nice, a nice fluid to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's something that I'm definitely going to be picking up to get.
yeah, yeah. And then the next one was Hello Neighbor 2. So part 2 of that is coming out, and I've played some of the first one, and like my kids are really big fans of the Hello Neighbor stuff. So
Yeah.
they'll definitely be happy, excited about this. But it looks this looks way better than the first one. Like you can tell that they really, I think, hopefully put a little bit more into this
Hmm.
and really making it, polishing it better and stuff like that, and I'm hoping the mechanics and all that stuff work a little bit better, because that original one is there's still, it's got very wonky style, like movement and picking up things, and a lot of clipping through stuff, and just
Hmm.
weird, a lot of lack of polish and stuff. But this one looked a little bit better, so I don't know. It looked interesting. And then after that was Soup Pot, which this is another game that they did interview with devs and talk about it, and it was a really cool looking game. And like I am not into the cooking sim game type games.
Hmm.
Um, I like Cooking Mama and stuff like that. So this is like only a single player, I believe, game. But like it's really interesting how they do it. So it's like more Asian style, of how you're cooking and preparing things.
Hmm.
And this is another one too where you just definitely got to go and watch the devs kind of interview and hear them talk about it, because me, trying to go over it isn't going to really do a whole lot of justice. But
Yeah.
essentially they're both I think Thai or I think they were Thai or whatever, but they like they kind of talk about where their inspiration came for this, that they wanted to kind of do it the way that they do it traditionally, where they don't really follow recipes. They said that they just listen to their ancestors. Their ancestors tell them, whisper to them what, like what they need to put in the things that, they're, but it's really funny because like each ingredient, when you touch it or pick it
Hmm.
up, it will yell out its name of what it is or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there's just like this kind of fun, corny, goofy kind of style to it. But then on top of that, you're actually, from what I understand, you're like, like you're literally could like learn how to make some of these things that you're making, because I think they do kind of, like they are like real things that you can make and stuff in real life. And you're almost learning how to make these things virtually almost. But it looked fun, and they gave away a little secret about
Mm-hmm.
the game. They said that there's actually an achievement for this game where if you drop an ingredient on the floor and you pick it up off the floor and use it in the thing, you'll get an achievement that says the
Oh
five
wow.
second rule. So yeah, they said it's really fun, like that there's just kind of fun things like that you'll get achievements for in the game, um and stuff. So it just looked like a really fun game, honestly, that I would definitely be willing to try, even though it's out of the style of game that I normally like. So
Oh, nice.
and then after that was Demon Turf. This was a really interesting like game. Like it
Yeah,
was
I need to see the trailer for it. I didn't get this part to it.
okay.
But
Yeah, it was like almost like 2D art, but it was in a 3D world, like
mhm.
like a 3D platformer, but the your character art almost felt like 2D.
I wonder if
It's
it's like
kind
that 2.5D. I wonder.
of
But I'll
I
have to look at it.
it's I mean it's like I guess like it's somewhat similar to like how Paper Mario is. Like
Yeah.
how like you're in a 3D world, but you're kind of your character is almost like a weird like dimension
Hmm.
that I don't know, it's something about it was really weird. It just kind of threw me back to like old school 3D games and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
um
have to take a look at it.
and then Enlisted, this is a game I think that's think it's kind of, some of these games have already been out, but they've only been on PC. um
Yes.
and so a lot of these games are just coming to console for the first time, basically, essentially. Enlisted is, I believe, one of those. Chivalry 2 was next, which we've already seen some of that.
Yeah.
That's I own the first one on Xbox. I didn't really end up playing it a whole lot, but it was from the creators of Call of Duty, I believe. And they wanted to make like an swords and like style game, more medieval knight style Call of Duty game, and that's basically what that is.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, Song of Iron was the next game, and that looked like a really good game. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I just remember being kind of intrigued. But um, all right, and then ooh, I lost my spot here.
Uh, XO1.
Yeah, XO1. So this is that like one with the disc that's flying through the air, and it's kind of got this
Yeah.
really, like, the soundtrack sounds amazing. Like I think I would like it. It'd be a pretty calming kind of like game, but I'm not quite sure what this is, one of those where I need to see more of it, because
I
I
was
don't quite understand what's going on.
I was kind of getting in that indie game Flower. I was kind of getting that vibe to it, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it did nothing for me.
Yeah. The next one was the one that I'm really super interested in, and it will be on Game Pass day one.
Which is, yeah, go ahead and talk about it because I got thoughts on this one.
Nobody Saves the World.
Okay, and this is from Drinkbox Studios, the company who made Guacamelee.
Yep.
Um, and it may be, I'm assuming it's console exclusive, so I think it's just for right now, or it may be time exclusive. That Xbox getting it, and then it'll be maybe on PlayStation or Switch. Um, my thoughts on it, it's cool. I know it's something different for them. I am looking forward to playing it, But I think for me, I was just like, I feel like I've done this before, and I guess I expected greater from Drinkbox because I do like them as a studio. I think this one is. I guess I got to get my hands on it and just
Yeah,
give it a fair try. It
yeah,
was just like,
they talked to the devs for this one too. Like I do like some of the mechanics and stuff that they
hmm
talk about. Like they said that like bosses, there'll be bosses and stuff in this game. And there's dungeons and stuff. The dungeons are procedurally generated, but everything
yeah,
else is stays the same. It's only and so like they said like basically like the real enemy and bosses in this game is learning how you've got to build your character to go up against the elements basically in some of these dungeons and stuff like that. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
I think they're just taking a different, it's doing something that we've already seen, but they're taking a different route of
yeah.
how they do certain things that hasn't really been done that way before.
And
So
I think I'll see what people think of the game on Game Pass, and then I
mhm.
think I don't know. It feels like a game I will wait for a sale before I buy it. And I know Drinkbox was hyping it up, and they were excited, so it was good that they had their moment. Something about it's just like I feel like I've done this many a times, and this is not
Well, I mean
jumping
it's
out
a
at me.
Metroidvania. I mean Metroidvanias have like been done a million times, but yeah,
But it's just not
to me
2D.
it's all about what. No, it's a 2D game.
No, it's
It's a
not.
top. Yeah, it was top down.
Right, 2D as in linear 2D, that the plane is straight flat, not top down.
Well, that's why
Uh,
it's a Metroidvania, like
right, right. Metroidvanias have to be
or a
2D.
Zeldavania or whatever it would be called, I
That,
guess.
they normally, well, it would mostly be like a roguelike and roguelite
Well, it's
because
not. They said it's not that though.
I mean with the dungeons and stuff changing,
That's
they
the
just
only thing though
think,
that
yeah,
does like, and it just spits you back out to give you another chance to
which
respec your character.
right, which people consider that as
Yeah.
roguelite,
Yeah,
LITE.
but they said themselves that it's not
It's
real.
not. Yeah.
It's not a rogue. Yeah,
I think
it's
some people. I think some people will try to just place it under it, just to be safe on the safe side and stuff. I'm not saying that. Like I agree with you, Jesse, that it's not. I
yeah,
think it just has to.
because
The
they said basically right out that you're playing a linear story.
mhm.
Like so there is no rogue like style to the actual story stuff because they wanted you to continue moving forward.
Yeah.
The only time that there is any kind of option is when you're going into the dungeons, which I'd imagine are probably in some cases like a choice that you
Mhm.
don't maybe even have to go to some of them if you don't want to. Um, but yeah, but for the most part, it's like like playing like a Zelda or something. Because if you think about it, in Zelda in the dungeons or like if you fail or whatever, you can get kicked back to the start, um, and then have to try it all over again. It's more similar, I feel like, to a Zelda game, if anything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna play this day one when it comes out. It really looked interesting to me. Um, and I don't even I've never even played the Guacamelee games yet, so
Yeah.
I like it, and that's like they talk about how this is something different for them that they're not really haven't done before. So that's always interesting when they kind of change direction and do something different, which, is what you want them to do sometimes instead of just sticking to the same thing. But
Yeah.
um the next one was Estrella Ascending. This was that like your typical Japanese. Like,
This one looked really, really good. I think art style wise, this took the cake for me. It looked really, really good. Yeah, it's like kind of a 2D traditional like
Japanese RPG.
JRPG. Yeah,
Yeah,
with the battle mechanic and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and
But then
women
like
with big boobs and
I don't think they have big boobs or anything
yeah,
like
they
that.
yeah they did. It
Uh,
was
I
your typical Japanese.
I couldn't tell. It looked it
Yeah.
just like
Yep.
I mean, like not like balloon
Well,
boob.
the first character does, but there was some girls who were just it was just regular. But it is because what they're doing in this game, it's there's different factions and they're all kind of coming together to work together to create like this harmony or whatever, and something comes along to try to disturb that, and so you're fighting these beings that are trying to disturb your utopia basically.
Mm.
And so you fight with these different characters alongside each other to try to keep the peace between all the different um, factions or the different beings or whatever. Yeah, I mean it looked interesting, and is definitely like one of those games that I can see becoming pretty popular if people who are into JRPGs and stuff. And this game will be on Game Pass day one as well.
Yeah.
So um the next one I really liked is Lost Oasis. And this was that one where it's like the like airships kind of things that are drive on land or whatever, like those kind of like almost like, I don't know, would it be called air punk? Like because technically they use sails and stuff to make things move, not steam, but it's like that you're driving these big airships that have like leg things that walk on land or whatever, and then it's basically like Sea of Thieves on land. There's like all these different sand demon like monster like things that like something that looks like what are those movies called with um the big worms, the underground.
Oh,
What the heck are those? It's
Trimmers.
yeah, Tremors. It's like there's these big like snake looking tremor like type things that you can have to fight against when you're cruising along the sands and stuff like that. And so you may have to fight with them or other ships that can crash into you, and then their people can board onto your ship and have a big battle and stuff. A lot of the people that were when they were doing this event, like people were going crazy in the chat, I guess, for this game when that was getting shown. A lot of people seemed pretty excited for that. It looked interesting enough, and I mean, if it's as fun as Sea of Thieves, I definitely wouldn't mind trying it out. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that was Lost Idealen or Adalens.
Oh,
I don't know.
Lost
Lost Adal.
Idleness.
Yeah,
Yeah, the E is silent on the.
yeah. This this was another interesting looking game that I think is something you'd like, Ed. Like it had that like almost Fire Emblem style kind of like of gameplay, but it's like if Fire Emblem was about like knights, like knights and stuff with armor and and like basically you working with groups of people to fight and battle and upgrade your armor, your knight armor and your swords, and it has that that third person like Fire Emblem, like running around, walking around, doing things where you interact, but when you fight, it's like that turn based
Turn-based.
strategy type games where you're telling this character to move here and then attack, and and stuff like that. So it I think this one has a lot of potential. I could see this one being one that picks up. But yeah, because it definitely had that Fire Emblem kind of feel to it, but just with knights and stuff. Because you can be women as well and stuff too, your characters, and so it looks much more interesting, I'll say, than a lot of those knight-based kind of games end up being, in my opinion. Because a lot of those games I don't care for, and I've gone over this before, that Elder Scrolls has really been the only games like dealing with knights and stuff and that kind of stuff that I've ever really gotten into. The next one was,
Lawnmower Sim.
Oh yeah, the Lawnmower Sim game. Pass. Okay, this next one was another one that I am super excited for. This game looks so amazing. Loot River. So it's like a mix of like Tetris, like you're moving these Tetris pieces around, which are the ground that you walk on, and you kind of have to move them around and do some puzzle solving while you're playing this top down, like like shooter slasher type kind of you know like style game, and you can kind of use the moving pieces that you move around like Tetris to also use to plan your attacks and stuff like that, or like some of them have actual spikes on the side of it that you can move the piece and keep on using the spikes to keep stabbing the enemies, or making them all move over to one area and then quick move the piece you're standing on somewhere else to plan your attack. And it just looks so fun. This game just looks awesome. The character, like they show like one of the boss like characters at the end, and it was really cool looking. I'm super excited about the Loot River one. And then next they showed Among Us is going to get a console release, but they talked about the new map. Yeah, which is an airship. And so the new map then will be available, I'm guessing, when the console version comes out. I don't know. It may be available for everywhere that you can play it already. I don't know before then, but they made it seem like it might be that map will drop when it's available for console, but I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, because I think Xbox is the last one to get it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then after that was another game that I really, really was excited for, called Death's Door. Like this is a really cool one, where you play as this like crow character whose job is basically to like wrangle souls or something like that, to like keep souls in check. And they did a really cool, like, where it's mostly black and white, but every certain colors show through on certain things. Like your eyes are red, and like they show this really cool fight scene. And this was another one, I believe, where they talk with the devs about it. But they show this fight scene where you're fighting like a castle boss, and it just looks so cool. Like there is a lot of these kind of like top down kind of slasher type games. Or well, this one though, like, does some top down and it does some side scrolling, and it kind of does a little bit of everything. But this game, Death's Door, just looked really good. That was one of them that really stood out. Second Extinction, that's the dinosaur hunter game, where it's basically like hordes of dinosaurs and you work together as a team to fight them off. Then it was We Are the Caretakers. I don't know, that game I didn't really like the art style, the direction of it. It was just kind
Mm.
of too basic for me. I didn't really do anything for me. Then Blaster Master 03 is the next one they showed.
Okay, and we seen this at the Indie World for Nintendo. I think this is it may be me, but I think this is the first time that a Blaster Master game has been on Xbox, or even I mean, I know Blaster Master has been on Sega Genesis way
Mhm.
back in the day, and not
Yeah.
the Super Nintendo. So it has been on other consoles. But it, like I said, it may be me, but I think this is the first Blaster Master Zero game on Xbox. I don't think the other two came to Xbox.
Yeah, and because I'm trying to think who makes the Blaster Master games.
Uh, uh, Anti Anti Creations, I think.
Yeah, I think the thing is like I've kind of like I haven't played them in a long time, but yeah,
Well,
it looks like they're on like PlayStation and stuff, but I don't
okay, so yeah, it is
I don't think
Anti Creates.
okay.
Yeah, because this used to be okay. So it what happened was that it came to Microsoft Windows for the first
Oh,
game,
okay.
so that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think I'm checking too. Uh, yeah, Microsoft Windows again for two. Ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. And I think three is going to be yeah, so three will be the first console version for Xbox.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I remember, like, and we had talked about this, that I remember playing that original one on
Hmm.
NES or whatever a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really followed those games too much. That first one was, oh man, it was so hard. It was a difficult game,
It
and
it,
I just
it
couldn't get into it.
yeah, it just didn't tell you anything. And
Yeah,
so you just
yeah,
like it felt like it's a game that you just had to play and learn and maybe
yeah,
take notes and stuff. That's how Bionic Commando on NES was too. You just
yeah.
had to play it and take notes.
Uh-huh. All right. The next game was Stalker 2. And basically all they did was show like concept art and stuff for
Mhm.
this. Yeah. And and then after that was we got to see a little bit more of 12 minutes. Which, is a game I'm definitely looking forward to once it's finished here. So
Wasn't that the one that's in like it's a top down kind of game?
yeah, like where
Yeah,
your wife dies
and
or
you keep
something like
resetting,
that.
you
Yeah,
keep
you have to
resetting
keep on.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I meant to check the new trailer. I didn't get the. I was looking for it, but I didn't get to see it. So I'm gonna check out the new trailer.
Yeah.
Because I remember them showing it once again at Xbox E3, and then
Yeah.
it's been like kind of ghost. Like
Well,
no
yeah,
one really hasn't been talking about it.
they like there's kind of been things here and there that have come up about it, but not a lot,
Hmm.
and then in this they do an actual sit down interview again with the creator because I think this is one of those games that's literally being created by like one or two people,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. Um, but yeah, like like I think he added a whole bunch of extra stuff to it, and like has been just really trying to build this into something. Um, I want to say it has like famous people doing voiceover and stuff in it or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, this is one of those games though that like people have been excited for and have been waiting for to come out. Um, And then after that was last stop. This was the another like walking sim kind of looking game almost.
Mm-hmm.
where it's like almost like Freaky Friday style, like where you and another guy switch bodies.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to try to fill in for that guy at his job and try, and it's like just a game of many games and stuff like that you're doing, and trying to like go through the storyline basically. And I don't know if you're trying to figure out how to reverse whatever happened, but it looked interesting. I think this one's gonna be one where it's more about the story than anything else. Pretty basic gameplay type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looked interesting enough though. All right, and then we had got a so they were showing all the games that were gonna be coming to Game Pass, and they had showed a whole bunch of games that already were out, and games that are already in Game Pass, and like all this stuff that kind of was rolling in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just kind of go into the new games that they're going to be adding to Game Pass. And so in those was a lot of these that I've already talked about, but there was a bunch more new games that they didn't show anything of earlier, or they're games that we've seen before, but we got to see a little bit more of. The first one was Recompile. I don't remember exactly what that was all about because a lot of these could just go pretty quick, and because they just went quickly through them.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was She Dreams Elsewhere, and then after that was this one looked interesting. Good, is Dead Static Drive, and then Undungeon, and then another kind of like 3D world, kind of almost similar to like a rhyme type style game, was a game called Sable.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
that one what has been at Microsoft's E3. I'm looking
yeah.
at the trailer for it, and did they give? They didn't give a. I wonder did they give a date for it? Like
I
I want this
don't
game.
know.
Yeah, man, I've been wanting this game ever since they showed it. Because
Yeah,
I know they showed it at the PC gaming show, and
yeah.
when I found out it was coming out to Xbox, I'm like, okay, I'll get it on Xbox.
Mhm.
But they've never said anything about it, and I really want to play this game because the art style looks phenomenal.
Yeah. It looks like a really fun game. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, and then another one that I've been excited for that we've seen already was Way to the Woods, and that
Uh,
was the one where you play as the deer in the city, and you're trying to basically survive and find your way out of the city. And then Library of Rowena, and then they showed Backbone, which is that one where you're playing as the main character that's like um uh what are they, a raccoon, I think.
mm,
And we've seen that a while ago. That's like a side scroller kind of like detective style kind of game. And then Edge of Eternity, and then the last one that wasn't already in the stuff was Boyfriend Dungeon.
yes.
So
Uh, So I'm not getting it on Xbox. I'm getting it on Switch because that's where
yeah,
they showed it, and I'm just like, this is a game that I want to have. So
yeah,
yeah.
and you don't have Game Pass, so yeah, because like obviously if you have an Xbox and you have
Oh,
Game
I was
Pass,
still. Oh, I had already bought it for. I already planned on buying no Switch, even if I
yeah,
had Game
no, I'm
Pass.
just saying that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying you don't have to buy it though if you got Game
Game
Pass.
Pass. Yeah.
All right, and so the I just um okay, so I kind of was doing the whole talking about them as we went through just to get it, just to kind of do it. Um, I think so. I think that for the most part, I kind of said what I wanted to say about a lot of these. Yeah, Then nobody saves the world and stuff. Yeah, that looked really good. Oh, the Echo Generation, that was a turn-based action RPG. And it looked like it possibly could be like an open world-ish kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a, what is it? Bloxia or like kind of some like almost somewhat similar to like a Minecraft style looking art style, but it really reminded me more of the art style and the visuals of Minecraft Dungeons, where they had a really cool, like just a really good looking color palette, and like the dark, light and stuff shining on things, and like it looked like it could possibly be using like self or ray tracing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really good, that one. Um, yeah, I think that's for the most part. We kind of talked about all that stuff. So yeah, the last thing here that I have kind of for the show, then I just put it in the extra content. Is just I just wanted to give a list then, in order of the games that will be day one on Game Pass when they're released. So first we got Recompile, Astrea Ascending, Omno, She Dreams Elsewhere, Nobody Saves the World, Moonglow Bay, Dead Static Drive, Little Witch in the Woods, The Ascent, Art of Rally, Craftopia, Undungeon, sorry, Sable, Way to the Woods, Library of Ruina, Stalker 2, Backbone, Edge of Eternity, Hello Neighbor 2, Boyfriend Dungeon, and Narita Boy. All those games then are going to be day one on Game Pass. It said 20 plus. There's literally 21. 21,
Right.
21 games. So,
But there's gonna probably have more games come to it throughout the not throughout the year, but like they're probably gonna be adding more throughout the coming months.
There definitely is. There's always those kind of just stealth drops that they
Yeah.
get, where you can like literally one day go on Game Pass, look, and then all of a sudden go on the next day and there's like 5 just random games thrown up on there that are like indie games or whatever. There's always something on, it feels like, new on there. Things kind of slowed a little bit just because they had so much content going on there from their, Bethesda acquisition and stuff like that. So they didn't really need to throw any more new other stuff on there. But now we're starting to get some more things on there again. Like we've got Octopath Traveler and stuff on there and stuff. Like some of those big hitters like that on there now. So, but yeah, Game Pass, man. If you're like me and just like don't have a lot of money, but you want to be able to try different things and see if you like it, and if you end up liking it, then forking the money to get it. Like that's Game Pass is such a good way to go, because you get a discount too. Whatever games are on Game Pass, if you want to buy it and own it, you just gotta. You can get a.
We already had this discussion on Boss Rush, so I will keep my peace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some people are weird.
Hey,
some people don't understand a good deal.
All I say is that Game Pass has value. If people believe in it, go ahead and support it. I just hope that people who are playing these games are finishing them. That's all I care for.
Well, but that's the thing is you're not necessarily going to finish all the games that you
I,
start
I, all
because
I,
that's the
I,
whole thing is you're
that's
playing stuff you're not going to
that's
like usually.
that's all I said. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey, these people that made these games, they don't care if you're not finishing it. They just want people playing them, period.
I just I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, yeah. So that we'll wrap up the show because we were going pretty long here, but yeah. I mean, there was a lot to see. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of lulls in the show. I'll be honest. Like I didn't mind the talking and stuff so much that was going on, the banter. It was more of the like and I mean obviously when you're running as long as they did, they're gonna want to take breaks because they're doing it live. These streamers are doing a live show and they want to take their breaks like they normally would on stream.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean I still, like I said, I think it was completely worth watching it. Because there's some really cool looking stuff, and like I hope, like what we talked about some of these, will give you an interest to maybe go check them out. If you didn't watch it, maybe go back and watch it and see for yourself. Because I'll be honest, a lot of these, like we can say that we love the art style and all that stuff, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really do it much justice. Like some of these, you just really got to see it to understand just how cool some of these games looked. Like there was just some really cool looking games at this show. So it was yeah, and it was literally there was something for everybody and then some, like I mean there was so many different kinds of styles of games that they were showing at this. Like I think I would honestly be able to say that they hit like practically every genre of game, or at least, I mean, there's always going to be subgenres, but I feel like they hit on just about everything at this,
Yeah.
on this show. So, and like you said, some of these games did not give you indie feels. They felt like they were like really, really, like at least like double A games. They seemed like they had a lot of money behind them, but some of these games, even some of the best ones, like had very, very small teams working on them. So it's
Yes.
pretty amazing what some of these developers did. So all right, yeah, we'll end it with that. So Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at that Butcher Code. You can check out Nintendo Pop Lock on Mondays, 7:30, 8:30 p.m. When we go live. If we don't go live, you can catch it Wednesdays, our recorded shows in audio. Catch me on Optional Opinion and World 11 Podcast. And yeah, if you guys wanna follow me on Xbox, when you go to at that Retro Code, you'll see that my Xbox Live name is the Lyrical One. And also the Lyrical One on Twitch also.
Nice. And you can find me everywhere basically as Phantom NXS. And just one last thing, I just wanted to make sure that we're giving Boss Rush Entertainment some love over there.
Yes.
Definitely go check out those shows, LAN Party. They do Trash Talk. They do, there's all kinds of great shows over there for just about everyone. Even, like it's sometimes it's nice to just have a break and have something, other than video game stuff to listen to. So, they're doing a great job over there, giving, helping us have some, diverse content to go listen to. So definitely
Yes.
go over there and check that stuff out because they do a great job. So, all right,
Yes.
well, we'll throw up the X because we're about to exit. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.